Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. Welcome back to another Timepieces for Tomorrow video. And today we're going to talk about the Breitling SuperOcean Heritage II. And is the Breitling SuperOcean Heritage II, is it a great dive watch? So without further ado, let's go ahead and flick over here to my other camera. And I'm going to show you the Breitling SuperOcean Heritage 42. Now this is the SuperOcean Heritage II in 42 millimeters. So I've got a 7.5-inch wrist. There's a few significant things about this timepiece, and we're going to talk about it within a lot of depth within this video. So let's go ahead and take it off. This is the shark mesh bracelet. Now, if you get a SuperOcean Heritage 2, there's a few things I definitely encourage you to do. Number one is get it on the shark mesh. There's some other options. You can get a rubber strap. You can get all different types of straps, but definitely get it on the shark mesh because this bracelet is very unique. Now look at that, just using my finger right here to demonstrate, you know, the comfort of this. I mean, you can imagine that on your wrist. See, it just, because of the nature of the design, it just kind of glides along your wrist. And I'll go as far as to say this bracelet is more comfortable than an oyster bracelet. One that's pretty comparable in comfort to this is the stainless steel bracelet on the Bezel Master Control. But obviously that's not a dive watch. So the bracelet, that is a huge deal. You know, if you get one of these, definitely get it on the shark mesh bracelet. It's got a deployant clasp, and the inside of this is very comfortable on your wrist. One thing that, and this is a minor gripe, and I'm not bashing the wristwatch in any way, but they could have done a little bit better job with the actual clasp itself. It doesn't feel cheap. By no means, but I think they could have used a little bit thicker stainless steel. But other than that, everything's pretty much perfect. And you've got the case back. You know, if you're familiar with Tudor and Rolex, that comfortable oyster style case back. Obviously, this is not a Rolex oyster case back, but it's a very similar feel on one's wrist. Obviously, you have the screw down crown, which is important for a proper dive watch. This particular piece, oh, and by the way, there's no crown guards, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. This particular piece is rated to 200 meters or 660 feet. Now the bezel, this is what's really cool. It's a ceramic bezel. Again, this is the SuperOcean Heritage II. The original SuperOcean Heritage had an aluminum bezel. This has ceramic, so it has 120 clicks. Meaning that if you go from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, it's going to be 120 clicks. See, 1. So 10, and then if I continued to go, it would be 120 clicks total. But listen to that. Very nice and reassuring bezel action. Sounds and feels different than a Rolex Submariner. In a Tudor Black Bay, but it's got a very reassuring feel. It's very easy to grip with these. See the perimeter there, how it's kind of got that texture to it. So it's easy to grip with sweaty or wet hands, which is important for a dive watch. Looking at the dial itself, and let me wipe it off. I just took a shower with it, man. Looking at the dial itself, it does have AR, anti-reflective coating. Now, I wear this thing everywhere. I've been wearing it for several years. And, you know, obviously pools, hot tubs, oceans. And I haven't noticed any imperfections in the anti-reflective coating, the AR coating yet. Now, on my other Breitling, my Super Avenger, I have noticed some minor imperfections with the AR coating. But you would almost have to put it under a microscope or have really good vision to even point, you know, to be able to identify those hairline scratches. I think the dial itself, and if you've got 4K, crank it up, there's a lot of goodness going on for this dial. Number one, the flying, the B, I shouldn't say the flying B, but I should say the B, the Breitling logo. See, it's gold. And then you've got dimensional element, the indices. They look very nice there. They hit the light really well. The date is at the 6 o'clock position, and it's nice because it doesn't have a Cyclops. When you're dealing with most Rolex, most of them have a Cyclops, which in my opinion is not a desirable characteristic. Now, a lot of people like the Rolex Cyclops. I'm not a fan of it, but the fact that it has a date, that it's at the 6 o'clock position and there's no Cyclops, I really like that design element. This does not have a domed sapphire crystal. Now, if you check out like my Tudor Black Bay 58 or my Tudor Black Bay Chrono, you'll notice they have a domed sapphire crystal. This is flat on the top. I think it looks really nice. This is very well executed. Again, this is the 42 millimeter example. You can get these in 44 and I think 46 as well. Now, I've tried on in the authorized dealer. I got this in St. Thomas, but I tried on the 42 and also the 44, and both fit my wrist really well. But there's something, in my opinion, if you're getting something that you're probably going to want to continue to enjoy throughout the years, wristwatch fads will come and go. You'll have the times where a larger wristwatch is the norm, and then you'll have times where smaller is the norm. But I think the timeless size for most men is probably 39 millimeters up to 42 on the larger size. And that's just my opinion. Nothing wrong with the larger wristwatches, but you're probably going to find, especially if you like to wear a variety of different wristwatches, you're probably going to find that if you get the larger wristwatches, you may not wear them as much because they feel radically different on your wrist than most of your other timepieces, especially if you're big in the Tudor and Rolex. Typically those are around the 40 millimeter range, 39 or 40 millimeter. So when you start getting above 40, it becomes large. I think 42 is, again, highly wearable. No complaints with 42 millimeters, but it's still got nice wrist presence. This isn't too tall on the wrist. That's the thing with with some wristwatches that are dive watches. They just sit too tall on the wrist. This does sit taller than a Rolex Submariner. Check out my video where I compare the two. But it's a good size. It's easy to, and due to the shininess of this, I mean, if you wanted to wear it with a suit or anything like that, I think that's perfectly acceptable. But it's just a very well-made wristwatch, very, again, highly water resistant, rated to 660 feet or 200 meters. One complaint that I do have, and I would turn off the lights, but I really don't have a way to do it now. Check out my separate video where I show you the Lume of the SuperOcean Heritage II. The Lume on this wristwatch is a huge disappointment. And I don't mean that in a degrading way, but it's just not, it's in my rotation, it's the poorest performer when it comes to Lume in a tool watch. Now, obviously my Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control, which is a dress watch, the Lume on it is worse than this. But the Lume on this, that's an opportunity for improvement. They don't have the Lume that's as good as the Panerai, the Rolex, the Tudor, the Ulysse Nardin. That's one area where Breitling failed with this, was the Lume. But again, Lume is not a necessity. And, that's probably me being overly critical. Now, something else I want to point out, you can see here this shark mesh bracelet is definitely what you want to get. But because this is a Breitling SuperOcean Heritage II, they want to give it an old style look. So see, and again, this is obviously the factory Breitling bracelet, but you can see how it doesn't contour to the case. It's just it's just a straight piece right there, which that further enhances the vintage look. Except you're getting modern technology. You're getting a very nice Breitling movement in this. You're getting the ceramic bezel. You're getting all of this new technology in something that has an old school vintage style look. And this bracelet is absolutely exceptionally, I mean, it looks very nice on the wrist, and again, it's exceptionally comfortable. And you can see there just how it just glides across, obviously that's my finger, but imagine that being your wrist. I mean, comfortable to wear all day, doesn't pull my hair. I take bath with it, I shower with it, I get in hot tubs with it, I get in oceans with it. I just don't care. But, and again, what I was going to talk about earlier, this does not have crown guards, which, again, further enhances the vintage style look of the timepiece. And I think Breitling has knocked it out of the park with this. You know, Breitling is a brand that that has had an interesting. They've had an interesting history. I mean, they're definitely a very well-respected wristwatch maker, but in the recent years, not necessarily today, but you know, step back. I don't know how many years. I don't want to insert an exact number here. But they kind of, you know, there for a while, the Breitling Chronomat was super hot. The Breitling Navi Timer was super hot. And obviously the Super Avenger was actually even super hot. And a lot of those timepieces, though, you know, larger. And now, at least the current trend in 2022, it's more for men's watches. It's more 39 millimeters to 42 millimeters on the larger size. So Breitling has released some very phenomenally well-executed pieces, in my opinion, such as the SuperOcean Heritage II in 42 millimeters that I feel are great. And I feel it's great value on today's market. And I think that this is something that's positioned to become a future classic. I like the, obviously I went with the blue. You can't go wrong with the black. And they've even got a black with gold, which looks absolutely phenomenal. I tried it on when I purchased this timepiece. Actually, I tried them all on, and again, I tried this in the 44 millimeter case as well. And it's also interesting to mention that this in the 44 millimeter case, the dial is slightly different. So if you check them out, look at the dial of the 42 and the 44 and see if you can spot those subtle differences. But again, I feel that this in 42 millimeters is quite possibly, I'll go as far as to say this, in my opinion, as far as Breitling tool wristwatches are concerned, you know, watch you can swim with, it's got a screw down crown, you can wear anywhere. I think this is just it's an under the radar piece today. It has not yet achieved the level of recognition that Rolex Submariner, Omega SeaMaster, that those types of pieces have. But it is without a doubt, in my opinion, a future classic. And I'm thrilled that I've owned this for several years. And it's a very comfortable piece that I would today still highly recommend. But again, I want to throw that out there. Black, blue, or maybe the black with gold. I think those look good, but definitely 100%. Don't let yourself be steered in any other direction. Definitely get it on the shark mesh bracelet. Because you can always add a rubber strap or some sort of other strap in the future if you want to. But get it on the shark mesh bracelet because this thing is super comfortable and it's not something you would want to try to source aftermarket. You know, you could put an aftermarket rubber strap or aftermarket leather strap or whatever type material in here, no problem. But you couldn't find an aftermarket shark mesh style stainless steel bracelet that would look and feel as comfortable as this. And again, it has a nice taper to it as well. Just an exceptionally well executed bracelet, exceptionally well executed timepiece, and again, something that in my opinion is a future classic. And again, it's the Breitling SuperOcean Heritage II in 42 millimeters, and I've got the blue one. So I hope you found this video to be entertaining. Comment below, ask any questions that you may have. I'm always looking for ideas for upcoming timepieces for tomorrow videos. Just as an added mention here, I did survive. I got that virus that's been going around, man. That's been going around since 2020. So my video production for the past few weeks has been really gimped because I just didn't have the energy. But now I'm probably about 90% recovered, and I'm going to crank tons of timepieces for tomorrow videos and tons of timepieces for tomorrow live shows. So I appreciate your support. Oh, and if you're looking for merch like this t-shirt, well, not my t-shirt, but the same shirt from the same place, look down below. I've got my merch store on Spring. I've got, formerly known as Teespring. I've got t-shirts like this one. I've got my sweatshirt you've probably seen me wear in the other videos. I've got pint glasses, coffee mugs, stickers, and a whole lot of other cool stuff. So check out my merch. It's a great way to support my channel, but definitely be sure to subscribe. Ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. And check out all my previously recorded live shows and notifications for upcoming live shows as well. Just head on over to timepiecesfortomorrow.com. Appreciate your viewership, and it's my goal to share my wristwatch obsession with the world, because it's a fun hobby. It's something that can be enjoyed by everyone, all age groups. I mean, everybody, all genders, all age groups. It's just a great thing. So y'all have a good day, and see you later. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.